be defeated. Lieutenants, united, will never be defeated.
Scotland, be honest,
I think what we shall do is get our first speaker up. Joining us from the Edinburgh Muslims Women's Association, we have Tasneem Ali! Thank you!
Everyone, thank you for inviting me. So when I was asked to speak, that was sort of at the beginning of the year, I never thought that after all these months, we would still be witnessing a genocide in Gaza. But here we are, every day our screens are filled with horrific atrocities. Each day we think it can't get any worse, and then we are shocked by the evil brutality committed against our brothers and sisters in Palestine. Muslim Women's Association work with Palestinians in Edinburgh. Some are from Gaza. So I'd like to share a story of a sister who has given me permission to share what happened to her and her family while they were in Gaza on and after October the 7th. The family, who are British citizens, lived in the centre of Gaza City and were used to hearing bombings every few weeks on the outskirts of the city, but never in their area. They thought this time was no different, but they couldn't have imagined what was coming. First of all, the communication went off. Luckily, they had a landline which they had hardly ever used, so her brother from the UK was able to call her on this line. She knew there was an urgency when he kept calling her every 15 minutes and telling them to leave and go down south. But because they had no idea of what had happened, she kept thinking, this will all be over in a couple of days and we're not going anywhere. The same day, she received a phone call from someone in Jerusalem mentioning her and her family by name and asking them to leave right now and go down south. Suddenly the lights all went off and the bombing was heard much closer than ever before. All of a sudden, the family were coughing and couldn't breathe. Something was in her throat, blocking her breath. And we all know now that phosphorus gas is being released on the innocent public. It was then that she decided it was best for her and her family to leave. So she went with her parents, her sister's family, who all lived in the same building. They quickly grabbed whatever they thought was needed, thinking they would return back in a few days. Throwing whatever they could in 2 cars, with 13 of them squashed in, they started driving, praying that they would not be hit by a bomb. It was extremely dangerous and stressful. All of them, all around them, were empty buildings, people running with their possessions, carrying their children, vehicles full of civilians trying to escape the horror that was unfolding in front of their eyes. At last, they arrived at their cousin's farm, which mainly consisted of an old barn and nothing else. Other members of their family were already there, thinking it was a safe place. There was 35 of them in total. They looked at the things that they had picked up. There was bread, but nothing to put on the bread. They hadn't thought to pick up anything else. Not sleeping bags, not blankets, nothing. Luckily, there was one toilet, which they were grateful for. So they lived on bread and water until that ran out, and all they had was polluted water, and there was no sign of an end to the bombings. 2 men from the group would go out every day to find food for 35 people, every day, not knowing if they would return. The small portions that they found were shared among the children first, then amongst the women, and lastly the men. The nights were freezing cold. Drones buzzed around the barn all day, coming nearer to their heads when it was dark. They were getting bitten by insects, especially when it rained. Some members had diarrhea from drinking the dirty water, and they were getting more and more sick. The family were able to get information only once a day, and the sister's brother was desperately contacting every organisation in the UK trying to get help for his family. After 3 weeks of living in the barn, the British Foreign Ministry sent a message that they should go to Khan Yunis. Then later, another message to say that the Egyptian border was open and they should go there. Some family members hired a taxi only to find chaos at the border. No one knew what was happening. There were long queues, and towards the evening, everyone was told that they couldn't cross the border today and they should go back. 3 times the family went backwards and forward. Each time, the cost of the taxi was rising from $200 to about $1,000 or more because fuel was running out. One time, the taxi broke down, and usually the Gazans are really friendly people and they would gather around to help, but not this time. They knew that people gathering would immediately be a target and they would be bombed. Each time the family were in the taxi going to the border, they would be met by Gazans, asking them why they were leaving. This was the hardest moment for them. Seeing all those that couldn't be helped, people begging for mercy, children crying, women offering jewelry and anything they could find to escape from the horror. The feeling of guilt has never left the sister nor her family, especially when they read names of the murdered innocent civilians, some of whom they knew personally. On the 3rd day at the border, and after much negotiation with the British Embassy, the family finally managed to cross the border, each of them paying £5,000 a person to the Egyptian authorities. It was clear the Egyptians were making a lot of money from the Palestinian refugees. The family finally managed to find enough money through funds collected by charities to come back to Britain. Life here in Britain, the sister says, is safe, but we don't belong here. Our roots, our homes, our belongings, which we worked a lifetime to build, are all gone in an instant. Today, the sister is still in trauma, still hearing of family members being martyred. It's like torture for us, she says. We feel let down by the whole world. No one can do anything to stop these murdering monsters. The world is going about their business without care. Nothing makes any sense anymore. What have the Palestinians done to be starved and murdered in this way? Why can't they live like any other human being on earth? They also yearn to go to school and to universities, to have families, to see their children grow up, have celebrations without fear. But they're not allowed to, since the Zionist plan all along has been to colonize the Palestinian people and eradicate its people. So we all know that this didn't start on October the 7th. It has been going on for many decades, and 2 million people trapped in the world's largest concentration camp have suffered aerial bombings at the hands of these occupiers. For years, Israel has imposed inhumane laws against the Palestinians, controlling their every move, making life so hard for the population, holding men, women and children in prisons without any proper trials for years. Western governments, human rights agencies, international courts, none of them have protected our brothers and sisters. Instead, they have let Israel get away with murder, no accountability, no independent body allowed to investigate, no human rights allowed to look at the evidence. Israel is allowed to spread lie after lie freely, playing the victim while world leaders stand by, paralyzed by their own agendas and too heartless to send humanitarian aid immediately to where it is needed most. So where is the humanity? Are they not shocked, those people, when they see images of displaced, traumatized children looking after their siblings who have had their parents be murdered, wishing that they had never been born as life becomes more and more unbearable every day? We've all seen the horrific images of mass graves. We can only imagine the pain and humiliation each patient, doctor and nurse went through before being brutally murdered by the IDF. The Israeli spokesperson openly called all Palestinians terrorists. How much hate do they have? They're brainwashed into believing this genocide will bring peace for the Israeli people. But we all know there's only one way of bringing peace to the region, and that's if every person is treated justly with equal rights for everyone. We at Muslim Women's Association stand for justice for Gaza and the lifting of the siege. The murders must stop right now and aid must be allowed in. We stand for those who care about humanity, wish for a peaceful and just world. We will keep protesting, boycotting, harassing politicians, showing our leaders we are not going to stand by and let them destroy our world. We will continue to fight till Palestine is free.
drafted in really short notice, but will rise to the challenge, I have no doubt whatsoever. From the Gaza Peace Camp, please, huge round of applause, lots of cheering comments, please now. For Luna, please, thank you.
Hello, it has been short notice, but I hope it will be good. Over 200 days have passed since Israel's genocide of Palestinians in Gaza began. Over 75 years have passed since Israel started a separate colonial project on Palestinian lands. We've been in the streets demonstrating for an end to the genocide, an end to the occupation and apartheid, and for a free Palestine. We've written to our MPs and MSPs, we've signed petitions, we've attended meetings, we've engaged with panel discussions, events, and other solidarity gatherings. We've used every avenue available to us in Scotland, and yet the genocide continues. And every day we see new horrors. We receive empty condolences from the people in positions of power, yet the sale of weapons and arms that enable this genocide continue. We are here because we've had enough. We will not be complicit in genocide. We are here with demands. We are here in solidarity with Gaza. We will continue to fight for a free Palestine. Our demands are simple. Divestment. Your pension funds and our universities should not invest in genocide. Everyone knows this, and they continue to do so. There needs to be a permanent and immediate ceasefire. This Scottish Government needs the pressure of the UK Government to do that immediately. The killings cannot go on. It's pretty simple. And fundamentally, we want an arms embargo now. Workers for a Free Palestine, I don't know if you've seen, have blockaded multiple arms factories across the UK on the 1st of May earlier this week. And that's answering calls from trade unionists in Palestine asking us to do that for them. Because fundamentally, if this government won't start an arms embargo, we will impose one from below. Because the workers in this country are able to do that because we are united and powerful. Thank you.
I can't remember how many petitions I've signed in my life, actually. Hundreds, thousands, possibly. But it's really weird, that little drip, 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 drip does actually eventually can actually pay off. Just keep the pressure up, just keep on going. Tiny little steps, but it's amazing how far you can travel in just tiny little steps. Now, what would Mayday be like if we didn't have music? We do have music, and my favourite, real favourite, really love to introduce the wonderful, incredible Penny Stone! I don't think any of us thought we'd be here having to say what we're saying about Gaza today, back in October, but we are. And the time I've spent in Palestine has been in the West Bank, and this is a ballad talking about some of the people, beautiful friends over there who are not experiencing what's happening in Gaza, but they are experiencing an absolute shitstorm and the extension of the occupation and the apartheid and the oppression that has been going on for so many years. So I hope that you can smile and see the faces of Palestinian friends in this song, and remember that it's just people like us who want to live in safety in their home. So it's a really simple thing.
His
it's your turn. But I'm not asking you to sing that. I've got a simpler song. And one of the ways in which we enact our solidarity is uplifting the voices of Palestinians. And one of the ways is that we take ourselves out of our comfort zone. We acknowledge, as so eloquently described by our friends at the camp, that we have complicity and that we have privilege and that we have to use that privilege to make it stop. So this is Bella Ciao. Lots of you will know the tune. Let's just check. La 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 la. Oh Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Ciao, Ciao. La 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 la. Yeah, we're not doing the Italian one. Sorry, those of you that know it. Boom. No, we're doing an Arabic version. There are lots of Arabic versions of it, as there are in so many languages around the world, connecting struggles for social justice and freedom. This is an Arabic version that was written by a friend of ours in Edinburgh, a Palestinian who was over here studying to be a nurse in 1967, and when the 1967 war happened, was never allowed to go home to Palestine. She's been here ever since, which is a great sadness for her and a great privilege for us, because she's awesome and I'm delighted that she's here, but I'm really fucking sorry as to why. And she wrote this about 10 years ago. It's a simple Arabic version that you're all going to have a go of here. It means sing freedom, or Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao. For Palestine, sing freedom, we must end the occupation now. And I know you're all on board with that message. So our first line is Ghanil Hurriya. Ghanil Hurriya. Give it a go. Ghanil Hurriya. Ghanil Hurriya. Ghanil Hurriya. Bella Ciao. Bella Ciao. Bella Ciao. Bella Ciao. 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 Lovely. Let's try that again. Ghanil Hurriya. Ghanil Hurriya. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Lovely. Le Palestine, for Palestine. Le Palestine, Ghanil Hurriya. Le Palestine, Ghanil Hurriya. Ghanil Hurriya. Ghanil Hurriya. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Le Palestine. خلينا ننهل احتلال خلينا ننهل احتلال خلينا ننهل احتلال. I know it's quite a lot, isn't it? But it's good to know we must end the occupation in Arabic. So I mean, it's number one on the conversational Arabic list, isn't it? خلينا ننهل احتلال خلينا ننهل احتلال. Now, give that a go. It's mostly Ghanil Hurriya or Bella Ciao. If you find yourself wanting to sing along but not finding the words quickly enough, la 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 la, it'll do beautifully. It's about the spirit of solidarity with Palestine. So Ghanil Hurriya, sing freedom. Ghanil Hurriya, Ghanil Hurriya, oh Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, Bella Ciao, ciao, le Palestine, le Palestine. Ghanil Hurriya, Khalina, Khalina, Nihil, Ihtilal. Let's try that one, so that's pretty good. One more time. Ghanil Hurriya, Ghanil Hurriya, Bella Ciao. Swift of the left-wing movement. She wouldn't move her own microphone, that's for sure. So, it's really shocking. I'm horrified that we are now living in a time when just even finding a decent home is becoming a massive issue. It's ridiculous. Because this just should not be happening. It shouldn't be happening. I'm going to try and stop it out. I'm going to make sure that people do have somewhere decent to live. Fortunately, we've got someone there who's speaking in a campaign just to make sure that does happen. So please, comrades, Amanda Fife from Living Wage!
Living Red is Scotland's tenant and community union. We're fighting to transform Scotland's housing system to make it fairer and to ensure everyone has access to decent, secure and genuinely affordable housing. We are a mass membership union of tenants, carers, workers and residents rooted in working class struggle. We organise collectively to build the power to secure material improvements to our daily lives and put power back where it belongs, in the hands of ordinary people. Won tens of thousands of pounds worth in repairs and compensations from landlords and letting agents, won City Council investments in public services and public housing retrofit programmes, as well as major improvements in the law. To do this, we campaign on various levels. We are campaigning to ensure the Scottish Government's new housing bills delivers robust rent controls that serve the interests of the tenants. In Edinburgh, where 1,500 empty council houses have been left to rot despite a huge waiting list, we want to see these brought back into use. The council's new tourist tax is expected to bring in £37 million. That money should be reinvested in the city's public housing. To start with, we won £18 million a year for 5 years for mixed tenure improvement services. This will mean warmer homes for people across the area. We also got the council to promise to reduce the amount of void to 650 by March 2025 by putting 80 homes a month back into use. In the last week, we have also managed to secure new kitchens and bathrooms for a number of our members who have been promised these for 10 plus years. The last one I'm going to mention is the one most personal to me. I have been in temporary accommodation for 4.5 years, but my housing officer told me I had been passed over for a number of properties. Within a week of Living Red contacting the council, I had an offer of permanent accommodation. So if you want change, be change and join us.
That was fantastic. Thank you for that. And you moved in? Are you going to move in? Oh, brilliant. I think, okay. Have you been moving? I'm off I like ironing as well. I'm beginning to think I'm turning into a middle-aged house. Oh, I am. I bought a new kitchen, but you don't need to know about that. Do you want to know about my kitchen? No. There's not kitchens. But in the meantime, remember, housing, decent housing, isn't it privilege? You're fucking right. And everyone should have it. I do believe that at least, I think 60% of 20 MPs have 3 houses. Yeah, they clearly think it's a right, don't they? So I think we should just take it back. I also worked out, just whilst you were talking, that the Queen Elizabeth aircraft carrier, which cost is currently repairs. This is not the actual aircraft carrier. This is just to fix what went wrong in the aircraft carrier. It's going to cost something like £2.5 billion when she comes to reside. So what I'm thinking is, why don't we just seize it and put some people aboard it for a while whilst we get decent accommodation for them? Too revolutionary for that. So let's move on. Got another fantastic speaker for you. Let's hear it now for Mike Carlo from EIS.
Companies, colleagues, sisters and brothers, it's a real honour to represent my union here today. We are in one of our, what feels like this because it actually is this annual disputes both locally and nationally. Edinburgh College, there are £7 million worth of cuts planned for the next 2.5 years. We're in the middle of a national pay dispute where lecturers have not been subject to a pay rise of any kind for almost 3 years. Thank you. And George Orwell said, colleagues, that in a time of universal deceit, telling the truth becomes revolutionary, and this is the problem with our education system. We had to struggle for many decades, many centuries in fact, for ordinary working people to have access to any kind of education. And education continues to be a contested area. Why is that a contested area? Because the establishment, the ruling class, do not want us to be equipped to speak truth to power. And when we are fighting for a curriculum fit for our students, where they can be poets, musicians, artists, they can be social scientists, mechanics, social workers, care workers, engineers, anything and anywhere their dreams want to carry them. That's what we are fighting for, and that's what we'll continue to fight for. And in light of the most pressing global issue, and we've heard from colleagues and comrades today on this critical issue of Palestine, where the peacemakers in American universities, those students who have put their studies on the line, who have put their futures on the line to express that finest human word of solidarity, they are the ones that find themselves subject to militarised policing, the authoritarian thuggery of an American government that claims to act in the name of progress and of liberal values, in fact is unleashing the police on peaceful protesters. And certainly in a time of universal deceit, it is precisely during those periods when the peacemakers are caricatured and defamed as the ones who are spreading hate and division, while the profiteers and the warmongers sleep well at night. This is the world we've got to change, and this is the world we will change. But education is a clear part of that, colleagues, and that's why myself and my colleagues in the EIS Fella, I'm side by side with you, will fight for that education. Nothing is given. The future is unwritten, but it can easily be written by our enemies. So when Rosa Luxemburg says that the most radical, most revolutionary thing we can do is to proclaim what is happening, that is what meetings today are like, and all around the world. We are proclaiming what is happening. We will not be silenced. We will not have our words distorted. We will not have our actions slandered and defamed by the profiteers and the warmongers. And that's why I'm fighting, alongside my colleagues, I fight for an education that will enlighten, that will bring knowledge and insight to ordinary working class people so that they are equipped to speak truth to power. Like you, and like millions around us, we will not wash our hands in the struggle and the conflict between the powerful and the powerless. There is no neutral ground. There is no middle ground. There is no mythical centre ground. You either stand with the powerless, you either stand with the oppressed against the powerful and their oppressor, and each and every occasion, when the iron heel of the oppressor is on the neck of the oppressed, you and I will be there. And the voices that are lifted on this weekend, we will be amongst those voices, and we will not be silenced. We will not be silenced. Further education is in for a long, long struggle. It's unravelling. We're in an existential crisis and we need your help. There will be campaigns reaching into our campus communities very soon because we need to mobilise those voices. But I just want to say that, again, it's been a privilege and it's been an honour to march alongside people, not just in this room, but around the world this weekend, for whom the dew was long ago shaken from us, where we long ago broke our chains, and where we began long ago when the scales of ideology fell from our eyes and we began to see the world as it actually is and not how we've been told. And as lions and lionesses, comrades and brothers and sisters, we will continue to raise our voices, we will continue to etch the best values of humanity on the horizon, of solidarity, of kindness, of generosity, and of peace, and yes, of social justice. And I'm proud to be here to march alongside you, brothers and sisters. Solidarity.
In English universities, right there, they're dancing humanities departments, right left and centre, laying off historians, sociologists, all sorts of things, because what they want. And I was at a careers fair. I was a cleaner, what can I say? I was at a careers fair recently, and one of the teachers said to me, straight faced, "Oh well, you see, we can't really teach children that sort of thing anymore because it's a real rat race out there. They just need to get the STEM subjects. They don't need any of the fluffy stuff." That's what she called it, the fluffy stuff. So because it's such a rat race, so to quote from the late great Jimmy Reed, we are not in a rat race, we are not rats, we are human beings. We need to act and the humanities to understand what's being done to us and undone to our brothers and sisters so that we can fight back in creative and imaginative ways. Speaking of which, shall we have some more music? Why not? Absolutely fantastic. Joining us late this first year that she's done this, so obviously companies have worked really warm welcome now for Elsa McDonald!
I really hope she doesn't charge for that service. It wasn't on I didn't sign up to have a roadie, you know, so. Cool. My name is Elsa McDonald, and I write protest songs and shopping lists, slogans on hats and boxes, old-fashioned songs to help me when I go wrong. And I serve the same woman coffee every day. She sits there shivering, hiding from the rain. If you don't, you're a bit bad at this whole left wing thing. So yeah, I really understand the need for our rallying old songs that we all know and have been singing for decades. But I do think there is a problem. There's a reason that young people aren't writing protest songs anymore, and there's a reason that young people aren't members of unions anymore. And well, there obviously are for here, and I know that you're very good at it. So you know, don't come at me after the show. But yes, we have chronically disempowered our youth, and we've chronically disempowered people who are working for international corporations. Is that the right word? Too many syllables in one word for me. Sorry, this is what happens when you become a folk singer and you start changing your tunes. I blame Dick Dawkins. Yeah, and that song I wrote when I was working at Costa, and it was like the most shit time of my life. I was a member of a union myself, but nobody else was, and there's just such a lack of respect from customers, from managers, from everyone about the quality of that work. And right now it's pretty much all that's going if you're looking for a job and you don't have any formal qualifications. So there are hundreds and hundreds of workers in the UK in these disempowered positions, and I think what we need to do, we're at the forefront of our fight, should be trying to empower these people to unionise, and the unionisation the unionisations we've seen in Starbucks in the US are impressive, and this is the kind of thing that we need to see in the UK. We really need to get unionisation into these organisations that have been so far apart from the normal working sphere. Like, if it's just such a different world to how it used to be like 20 years ago, and so we need to get there. Anyway, here's your song that you should hopefully know. This is the version Dick Dawkins sang. It's Workers' Song. I'm not Dick Dawkins, so the guitar playing will be Elsie McDonald style and not Dick Dawkins style, but hopefully you enjoy it, and the capo being on the right place would be helpful. Here we go. Shipyards and mines, we've often been told to keep up with the times, but our skills are not needed. And they streamline the job by slide rule and stopwatch our pride. They never all die when the sky darkens and the prospect is war, who's given a gun and then pushed to the floor and expected to die. For the land of our work, we've never owned one handful of air. We're the
because it's very far from being fluffy. It's a good song will get you marching right into the jaws of danger. So let's hear it again for Elsie! And now, it's our final speaker, and it's a great honour and privilege to introduce him because, you know, it's just cool. So I think what we'll just do is just get you up. Come on. It's Mike Hogg, everybody, huge applause!
Thanks very much. It's an absolutely honour to be here today addressing the Mayday rally and the celebrations. I'm now an RMT full-time official. Previously I was a minor, and as the saying goes, once a minor, always a minor. And my contribution is going to be primarily about 40 years ago during the miners' strike. And once a scab, always a scab. First, let me send solidarity greetings from the RMT Union, a fighting, campaigning union, just like the AEM. It's hard to believe we are 40 years from the miners' strike of 84, 85, a year when I had a full head of hair. The price paid, and let me quote the following. 40 years ago, more than 180,000 miners went on strike in defence of jobs. We stayed out for a year, sustained by solidarity from millions of people across Britain who had never previously been near coal mines. There was a society at war with Thatcher, whose cronies engaged in a vicious assault on the working class. It was a struggle that shaped a generation, and it shows how much people, ideas can change through collective struggle. It would be remiss of me if I did not mention it is a year 25 years ago since the passing of the late Michael Magaki, who was an inspiration to all, whose ashes are scattered within the foundations of the Scottish Parliament, and I'm quite sure Magaki would have a lot to say regarding all the shenanigans that are actually going on as we speak. The price paid for fighting back was dear. A way of life was butchered. Mining communities became ghost towns with no just transition. Mass unemployment. Defeat of the miners was an ideology driven by the Tories after the 1974 strike, when the miners defeated the Heath government. The cost and the casualties was dear. 11,291 miners arrested, 8,392 charged, 20,000 miners injured, 200 served in prison, 1,100 miners dismissed, 206 of those in Scotland, 2 miners killed, 3 died digging coal. That said, the real cost of defeating the miners in 84-85 is estimated to be £28.5 billion, a huge price that the Tories were willing to pay. Since the miners' strike, we have seen many attacks on the working class. None more recently than the P&O workers. And let's not forget the barbarism of P&O. Almost 800 loyal workers thrown onto the industrial scrap heap. And what was the response? A token gesture with broken promises. Workers need to learn to fight back. The miners' defeat proved this. And as the late Bob Crow once says, if you don't fight, you will never win. But if you do fight, you might win. Never two or once were saved. Many positives have been generated from the strike. Women played an important part throughout the strike by supporting their men and families for 12 long months. It would be wrong if I did not mention the founding of the TUIC, Trade Union Within Communities, an inspirational idea and inspired by trade unions coming together. Unison, RNT, unite, your work hand and glove to make the Trade Mother Hub to be a success by reaching out to the many, as has been proven so far. As the idea is simple, to replicate the hub throughout other communities. McScience in Midlothian, a community-based business, social enterprise, a multi-million-pound business, founded in 1988, investment in our communities and jobs, now the third biggest employer in Midlothian, so there is hope after coal. And another good example of that is the struggle of workers within society. However, you better be prepared to fight. And again, as the late Bob Crow once says, if you spit on your own, you will almost make no difference. But if we all spit together, we can drown the bastards. Lastly, it would be remiss of me if I did not mention the genocide in Gaza. Israel's genocide in Gaza is a world historical crime. When the Jews were being slaughtered by the Nazis, the world turned away. Now the world has awakened to the barbarism and the genocide. 34,000 civilians murdered, 7,000 missing, 677,000 starving. The genocide has to stop. The answer is simple: a two-state solution where both nations live in peace. Thanks for listening. It's solidarity from the RMT.
What amuses me in the description that I've got here for Mick, it just says, Mick or X minor. But you are never an X minor, are you? Because you never really leave that cold face. And you never ever stop struggling. And what you said was so important. If you don't fight, you'll lose nothing. If you fight and you lose, at least you fought, right? Yes. So every time they come after us, will we fight? Yes. Then that way we'll win some. Remember we heard Elsie earlier on? So before I do that, however, just a quick announcement. Check your bio, there will be a vigil for Shaker on Festival Square. Julie, this is incredible. It was 9 years ago that Shaker was confronted by police officers at 6 on the streets of Kirkcaldy. We still don't quite know what happened there. This is not downtown LA, for God's sake. It's not Detroit, it's fucking Kirkcaldy. We want answers, right? We want justice for this man. Am I right? Yes. Right. We want to know what happened. Our police force isn't running around there like some kind of crazies that you get in Chicago. I want to know what happened that night to that man, and I want somebody accountable, right? Because I've had enough of this. We've had, you go as far back as Hillsborough when they all stood there and did fuck all and nothing happened. Excuse me, and I know it's a Sabbath and a store. I don't care. So I want to find it. So there's going to be a vigil, and it's going to be in Festival Square on the 6th of June at 9:45. If you want to go along, we show solidarity. Now, get justice for that man and his family. Now, you heard from me earlier on. Let's get her back again. Let's get a roaring cheer for Elsie McDonald!
Are you ready for your sing-along? Right. Again, if you don't know this song, that's quite a bad reflection on yourself. So. If I see anybody not at least pretending they know the words, I'll be coming round later with a CD. Alright. I want to see some fists in the air ends.
It is powder in a factory, powder in the land, powder in the hand of the worker, and it all amounts to nothing, and together we will stand. It's powder. Now the lessons of the past were all there with workers' blood, the mistakes of the bosses we must pay for. The cities and the farmlands, the trenches full of mud. War's always been the boss's way.